Hello everyone and welcome back to the fourth and final set of the day. We have Villanova against Butler University. And as we're coming into this, again, we don't know what to expect against these teams, because again, it's the first time we're seeing it. But if we're going to go look over the names as we have been doing every single set, on the side of Villanova, we have I'm a Horse, and immediately a goal coming out. Okay, well, I didn't even get to introduce
This literally
everybody.
looks like the first series, or sorry, not the first series, the last series that we had with Providence and St. John's. A goal in the first 10 seconds of the game. This time, no miscommunication though. But again, hopefully this match can live up to its predecessors. As you know, those were extremely close and very fun matches. Every game match that I've been able to cast here today has been a Game 5 match, and hopefully this one can live up again to those other matches that we've seen here already.
Yeah, and going into it, we have Sir Aaron, Webbs, and Steven on the side of Butler, and Popcorn, Riles, and I'm a Horse on the side of Villanova.
You're a horse, bro?
Villanova are in blue, Butler are in orange. And again, Butler's already scored the first goal of the series, so you're definitely feeling good immediately scoring 10 seconds into the set. Steven getting a lovely dribble. I'm a Horse, though, intercepting it, clearing it out, but immediately it gets recentered. Sir Aaron looking to try and find something there, but decides not to.
I can't decide if I'm a Horse is a troll name for us, or if he just likes that name in general, because saying I'm a Horse every single time is definitely making me laugh no matter what. But
when I hopped into the channel, I was asking everybody just what the pronunciations are, things like that, and yeah, they kind of snickered. And when his name is I'm a Horse, as we see the second goal coming out from Butler. Webb's
that was
here,
beautiful.
passed by Steven, drops it straight into his teammate, and Webb's just kind of lightly taps it into the goal. I mean, you can't really be too upset about that. Nice and clean.
Nice and clean indeed, and that was, again, just a perfect pass there from Steven. Webbs just needed to be in one specific position for his teammate to get the pass off to him, and Webbs not even having to really make a play there. Steven really did it all for him, and as it goes, 2-0 here to the side of Butler.
Yeah, 2-0 is definitely what you want to be in that first game, right? You want to be kind of taking charge, putting down some aggression. But again, we've seen teams need to warm up, and it might take them 1 or 2 games before they warm up, and then they just run the set back.
I think we're going to see in this one, just from the way I've been watching this Butler team play, we're going to see a lot of beating and banging on this, what seems shattered Villanova defense. We see a lot of infield passes in place that we haven't really seen much yet in this stream, and it makes me extremely excited to see what they're going to be able to do the rest of this series. At a 3-0 lead, you can kind of sit comfortable for a little bit, but you still want to put that aggression on just to show them that you're here to play and that you're really here to win, opposed to really just trying things out. This Butler team seems like they have a lot of chemistry and they seem well established.
Yeah, I mean, and again, is this going to be first goal for Villanova? It's not, as Steven manages to make the save there, clear it out for his teammate. Sir Aaron actually getting knocked away as they go for another shot there, and a huge save coming out from Webbs, making the ball completely recentered there. I mean, Villanova are trying to make something happen here, but at the moment, the defense from Butler University is just coming out really, really strong.
You can just tell they're all on the same page in this circumstance because, 1, no double commits so far. 2, the pass plays and the ability to set each other up ready in the positions that they need to be in. Oh my God! That right there will make any grown man cry. Webbs puts a beautiful pass into Steven, who's already up and anticipating the pass up over I'm a Horse. What more could you ask for than that? That's what I'm saying. That's chemistry right there. That's something that cannot be built in a day. That's an empire that's been building for at least a couple weeks to even months now.
At least a couple weeks. As we see Butler here getting from their 4th goal, and oh my God, almost their 5th goal, as Popcorn manages to make an absolutely fantastic save there. I mean, that was looking a bit concerning.
He went from a kernel to a full popped popcorn right there. He came out of the goal like no one's ever seen. A beautiful save there, but one save does not save your game as a whole, and they certainly dug themselves a hole here early in game number 1. It's 0-4. Could it be jitters? Could it just be that they're not playing up to how good Butler actually is? It's possible, but I'm a Horse almost is able to tap that one in off a pass in towards the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, back and forth at the moment. When you are Butler University, you're in a really good spot. You're in a very cushy spot being 4 goals up, right? Like, there's not really too much to complain about other than maybe you want to be 5 goals up. But,
don't get me wrong, I'd love to see a 5-goal lead if I was on the team, but I'm never going to complain about a 4-0 lead against a very, very solid Villanova team. But right there, I'm a horse. This is a great job of kind of bumping out the offensive player on the side of Butler and really setting up his teammates to make a nice save there. You know, we haven't seen a goal here out of the side of Villanova yet, but as I say that, Butler is now going to be caught lacking a little bit there as they have too many people pushed up trying to make hero plays in towards the goal to give them another goal. Don't rotate back and get costed for it.
So you know what we say about the caster's curse?
Of course.
And whenever a caster says something, the exact opposite happens.
You love to see that, right? No, you don't.
It happens every time. And honestly, at this point, I mean, here we go. Oh my god, a lovely save coming out from I'm a Horse. I mean...
I'm sorry.
You know, Korn, you gotta be able to say a name with a straight face, and the man's a horse.
Yeah, you know, I prefer centaurs.
Well,
if we're
he's a horse, and Sir Aaron is gonna find goal 5.
Well, this one's quite, as the kids would say, down and out. I think this one is pretty much a done deal. With 5-1, 41 seconds left, I think we're pretty much over with this one. If you're gonna score 4 goals in 10 seconds apiece on average, I would say good luck to you, especially against the defense that's been this good.
Yeah, no, they've only been able to find 1 goal, unfortunately, in this first game. I mean, it's a bit of a run back from what we saw in that Providence game where it was 1-5, except for there's no AFK players this time.
No, there's not, and I think this one might be a little bit different for the sheer fact that these plays from the side... Oh, that's an own goal right there, 6-1. If they score 1 more, folks, we will see the Brazil.
Oh, we got 15 seconds to see a Brazil. I mean...
Oh, I want to see a Brazil.
You never want to see a Brazil. You never want to see a team getting taken to Brazil.
I mean, sometimes you just have a little bit of a guilty pleasure and want to see a Brazil. I mean, that's just how it is. I can say that very firmly that I would love to see a Brazil. I mean, maybe the opposing team doesn't want to see it, but I can very, very thoroughly abide to seeing a Brazil.
Well, you hate to see it happen unless you...
Come on.
Actually, they might be able to do this. Wait a minute, I was not hopeful.
Come on!
Last second in the air, this is right by their goal as I'm a Horse manages to clear it. And game 1 is going to go towards Butler.
You know, we were close enough. I'll take it. I'll take 6-1. Not the most exciting game in terms of a close game, but a lot of incredibly good passing plays out of the side of Butler. You saw right there in the background that nice little pinch play into the goal, but again, very, very well-controlled a game from Butler. Only 1 mistake on the rotation side of things. They didn't play defense on 1 and allowed for the side of Villanova to get that 1 goal that they had. I think we're going to see a lot of the same here in the second game. Again, I talked about it last game, but it's something we haven't really talked about all stream, and it's that chemistry. Chemistry is everything in Rocket League, being able to know where your teammates are going to be, having that ability to, in the back of your head, know your teammate is going to be right there for that pass play when you put it down. Something a lot of teams can't really say that they have yet or haven't built towards that, and that's something that this Butler team has been doing. They've been playing together for a long time, as it would seem.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of chemistry coming out from this Butler team, and it's going to show, and it's clearly putting in the work that they do work well together, right? The passes that we're seeing, the communication that we're seeing, the rotations that we're seeing are not something that you grow overnight. That is hundreds of hours of playing together coming to light there. And I think that just goes to show how important it is to practice with your teammates and work for it.
I can firmly attest from playing many competitive video games that practicing with a team and sticking together as a team is the most important thing. Over in the Call of Duty scene where I'm from, a lot of the time we always see amateur teams, you know, come together and form for maybe like a week or 2. Things don't work out in their favor, but they're not a bad team. What ends up happening is one person gets an ego on their side, they want to play with better names, but Webbs, if that goes in,
yeah,
oh my god.
That was a beautiful play. A true example of finesse coming out from Webbs there. He read them like books, but at the moment it looks like Villanova is going to score, and I'm a Horse finds goal 1 of game 2.
He quite literally put that one into the stables, found a home for that ball, and it's going to be on the orange net. 1-0 for the side of Villanova.
I mean, yeah, 1-0 for Villanova is definitely what Villanova want to be seeing, right? Almost completely reset by Butler. A good save coming out from Popcorn there. I mean, Corn, how does it feel to have a fellow Corn on the field?
Oh, it feels fantastic. You know, he's a brother of the cornfields, a man of the stalk. And I really think that a variant of corn in the popped variety definitely tends to be the best, especially if there's a little bit of butter on that. Well, if he tends maybe to a couple of crops here and gets a ball inside of the goal, well, he could very well be buttering his biscuit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm starting to regret I even asked you that one, I'm going to be honest with you. But we see a lot of corner play coming out at the moment. It's a bit of a clown fiesta as everybody is fighting for control of that ball, trying to figure out where it's going, as a really quick shot came out there from everybody just jumping in. And thank goodness for Team Butler there, they did have a player sitting in the back line, just kind of making sure that nothing goes too wrong.
I will say, in the royal kingdom of the King Cornelius III Kingdom, there is no such thing as a clown. All we have are jesters, and royal jesters, might I add.
Oh dear, never change one, never change. As I'm a horse there, manages to clear the ball very center field, followed up by Riles. Riles is going to try and find something, but unfortunately for him, Webbs does make the connection there, as the whole game just seems to go in slow-mo for a second there. That was very interesting.
Yeah, just a tad bit interesting, I would add in there, but I see Butler. They have not been as good as they were in game number 1. It's been 3 minutes here into game number 2, and they still have yet to score with a lot of unfortunate defensive plays, but an own pass up onto the backboard there for Steven is going to allow them to potentially put this one on goal, but a nice there defensive play from I'm a Horse. He continues to do horse-like things, is going after and racing towards the balls.
Yeah, well, thank goodness that horses
thing,
don't eat corn, because at the moment, this is very, very back and forth. And like you're saying, Butler just haven't been able to put in the goals they did in game 1, but also, like I said during game 1, a lot of people warm up during that first game, and if they haven't been playing earlier today, like prepping themselves, then going in cold is definitely something that some players just don't do very well.
Oh, I think that goes to say in literally anything that you do. If you're not warm before you do something, or you're not warmed up before you take on a grueling task ahead of you, especially inside of a match like this, one, you have that added pressure of not wanting to lose that first game, but two, oh my god,
there it is. Webbs managing to find that goal. 1-1 at 1 minute is next 60 seconds are going to decide which way this goes. And I mean, if we get another overtime, I just think that'd be so exciting.
He flung through the air like a true-born 8-legged anthropod.
What are you trying to reference here?
A spider.
An arachnid.
Look, I haven't slept in like 24 hours. Give me a break, bro. Give me a break. I was trying to think off the top of my head. I was going to make some clever analogy, swinging through the air like a true-born arachnid, and the ball sunk into the goal like venom into his opponents. And that was going to be so good, but I ruined it by saying arachnid.
You said anthropod, which is usually an insect with an exoskeleton and like an inverted breed. Like, you know what? You messed it up. You've lost your right. As we're going to go in 15 seconds left on the clock right now. Anything's possible. One good shot could completely change the outcome of this game, as Webbs looks to try and make something happen here. I'm a Horse taking control. Chips it over one of the defenders. Oh my goodness, it looked like they were about to run it down, but we saw a lovely interception coming out from, I believe that was Sir Aaron.
Steven, up in the air. Webbs for the double touch. Oh no! Oh my god, that would have been so beautiful in so many ways. Webb's trying to make this one go in no matter what, though. But oh, a beautiful pass from Steven doesn't unfortunately make the go around, but that would have been beautiful no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that was unbelievably close. And I don't think, I don't think you're saying that would be beautiful. That was a beautiful play. If they had like half a second more on the clock or a tiny bit more boost, then
that's bouncing in.
That would have went in.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Webb setting it up here, gets a lovely little tap. I'm a Horse saving it, the rebound coming out from Sir, I believe, coming out from Steven. Sir Aaron trying to follow it up, but Riles manages to save it and clear it. I'm a Horse looking to get this out. Steven intercepting it once again. There's so much back and forth at the moment. Like we were saying, one mistake can completely change that. We are in overtime. I mean, Steven getting the save.
By the neck hairs of his neck. I don't know. But either way, it's going back to the blue side. Orange trying to make a play here. It's going to be Steven trying to make a pass towards the middle. I make a few clever analogies, and I can't speak a dang sentence, so you know how it goes.
I think Clever's giving you a bit too much credit as we go a minute into this overtime. Steven here trying to run it back. Popcorn there, though, does intercept it, cleans it out, centers the ball. Oh my god, Riles is doing this. Webbs is the only one left into the goal at the moment as both his teammates reset, rotate, and just hitting the crossbar.
I'm a Horse back into the left corner. He's trying to make a play happen up to his teammates, but Steven's going to be able to take it back the other way. Webb's now popping it up. The last one back is going to be Sir Ren.
Yeah, now the ball kind of slowing down a little bit as Sir Ren sets it up for his teammate, flicks it to Steven. Steven takes this shot and manages to get game 2 for Butler University. Next game is match point for Butler. We need to see Villanova run it back 3 games in a row.
The first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of that game looked horrific for Butler. They weren't able to be on the same page throughout the entire game. They didn't get anything going until that late goal in the game. And in overtime, they clutch up. They do what they need to do. They take the W in game number 2. Moving on to game number 3, as you said, match point. It's going to be a huge momentum swing. And now Villanova has to play from the rear for 2 games and then 3 if they go ahead and force a game 5. It has to be a reverse sweep for Villanova if they want to take this one and win it 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about that, right? We got it into overtime. That was unbelievably close. That could have gone either player's way. I mean, we almost saw Villanova manage to tie it back up on the last second. And yeah, that was, unfortunately, they didn't manage to make that either, which would have tied it up 1-1 all around. But being 2 games down in a best-of-5 series is not where you want to be.
Oh, not at all in any circumstance whatsoever, unless you're trying to write history. And if they're going for history, well, they showed what they're capable of last game. If they're able to translate it into this game and really put a capitalization on the statement that they're trying to make and force a game number 4, it could put the side of Butler on the back burner and kind of put them on their heels for a minute. But I think Butler right now is just too strong running the momentum from game number 2 and game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it's unbelievably, like, again, it's 2 games up for Butler, right? Game 1 was a bit of a wash in Butler's favor. Game 2, that was unbelievably close. That was like watching 2 different teams play.
Oh, you put the words out of my mouth. Nothing on the nail.
Yeah,
boom,
like,
boom, boom.
It was unbelievably close. It was like we were harking back to those earlier games that we saw this set where it was just back and forth, just one would throw a punch, the other would retort with a punch, and it was working really, really well. And unfortunately for Villanova, Butler just managed to slip it in last second, and as I said that, Butler manages to find the first goal of the game.
Well, caster's curse, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is that is a scary sight if you're a fan of Villanova or a player for Villanova, because the last time the side of Butler was able to score within the first minute of the game, they ended up scoring 6-1 and almost getting the Brazil on the side of Villanova. So this one could be very well over in 3 games if the side of Butler is able to turn it up here for the rest of the game. But 1 goal is surely nothing to worry about if you're on the side of Villanova. But the defense is high and flying and mighty as the side of Butler, it's something you got to get creative with. We've seen a lot of infield passes from the side of Villanova, but that one right there, that's just a beautiful person shot, or rather a solo shot. Popcorn gets a little bit of a touch there. It could have went either way, but Riles is the one there flying and ready to put it in.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like I said, these 2 teams are just hitting people back and forth. And they're throwing a goal, they're getting a goal. They're taking one, you know what I mean? And at the moment, again, it's like going back to that game between Marquette and Oh dear, my brain has completely. There have been so many Rocket League games. St. University, no, St. College. There we go, St. Hall. Yeah, that was an unbelievably close game, an exciting game.
You know what? It happens. We all have some brain farts sometime, and I've had a couple this series as well. So I'm not going to put anything that you say down or like I'm not going to say anything, no matter what. But either way, Steven's going to be taking this one down towards the side of Villanova, up in towards the middle, a high flying save coming through, a double commit there. I'm a Horse is going to be the one who clears it down the middle, and Popcorn now taking it the other way. I'm a Horse, unfortunately, a little bit of a backflip there, won't be able to get up in time to get a touch, put it in towards the middle. But now, again, mid-map control is so huge for both of these teams, and both of these teams have been able to do just that, control the mid-map. It's been back and forth, 1-1, a close game here in game number 3. Again, Villanova needs to win 3 games in a row if they want to take this series.
Yeah, I mean, they need to run it back, and it's not easy to run it back 3 games in a row, right? Because if you make a single mistake, and that costs you a game, series done. You know what I mean? Your back is to the wall, and you really need to come out swinging. And at the moment, they're not doing too bad of a job of it. 1-1. As long as they don't let Butler score a second goal here, then they might just be able to run it down into overtime and try and win it that way.
Well, your ideal situation is not to be in this situation whatsoever at any cost at all. But that's an ideal world where Butler's just not a very good Rocket League team at this point. And obviously, these last 2 games have been very close. Game 1, as we touched upon, could have been a warm-up game. Maybe a little bit of jitters, maybe a little bit of cold, ill feelings in the fingers or something like that. Personally, if my hands were cold, I'd run my hands in some water, some warm water in the sink. But, you know, to each their own. Could have been the case with the side of Villanova, or maybe they just taking it off to the hot start that they wanted to. The momentum got to the side of Butler, and they were able to make the plays. But some missed touches here out of the side of Butler are going to allow Villanova to take this one the other way and potentially make something work.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, it feels like Butler's very well practiced and been playing away together for a while. Well, I just heard that Villanova overall is a fairly new team, and Popcorn is even newer to that team. So
interesting.
That, again, over the next few weeks, we could see some great improvements as they practice and everything. Because, again, it does take time to form those things, form those communications. And if that's the case, I mean, they've been neck and neck with Butler for most of these games. They've just not been able to close it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that for the sheer fact that they haven't been able to close these matches. What's the one thing we talk about in any sport everywhere all the time? It's being able to close a game after you have a lead or not being able to give up a certain lead in certain situations, and it's all about that closing factor. Butler have been able to do that with that clutch OT win, and of course, game number 1 putting it away with a 6-1 victory. If they're able to do the same here, obviously it's going to be a 3-0, but to your point, I really do think there's a very, very vast amount of potential for the side of Villanova, and again, if it is the very, very first game or tournament setting that these guys are playing in on the side of Villanova, the sky is the limit, and they're looking very, very good.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to be going into overtime for the second game of this series, unless we see Butler manage to pull something out here. They're trying to make it happen, but we are going to go into overtime. So this is it. This is the sudden death moment for Villanova. If they manage to score, we go to a game 4, and they have a much better chance of running it back. If not, then that's going to be game, set, match 0 or 3-0 to Butler.
The pressure's on. This is their lifeline. It is going to be Riles up in the air, but a beautiful save there from Webbs. Popcorn trying to pop it back up for his teammate. Steven going to take it the other way. And now an opportunity to make this one work again. A beautiful touch there from Webbs in middle map. Almost is able to pop it up the other way, but now middle map control still for the side of Butler. Can they do something with it? Villanova, a missed touch back on their own side, but this one will be cleared right back out to Webbs, who is awaiting another touch. Flies up and over. Can he make something with it? A double commit up, but Popcorn is there to take it the other way.
Yeah, and we see plenty of the Butler team staying back, just kind of letting Webbs do his thing, you know, and letting him try and score these goals by himself whilst also being ultra defensive is a very interesting take, right? Because they want to end this series. They want to close this out as quickly as they can. They want to just have that 3-0 record on that first set, and I don't blame them for it. But I feel like they're going to have to be more aggressive than just letting Webbs do his thing to score these goals.
I will say, there is a definite advantage when you're letting a player like Webbs go up and make the plays for himself.
That's it.
Oh my goodness!
Sir Aaron! I mean...
Sir Aaron.
Like I just said, they need to be more aggressive. All three of them push up.
What I was going to say was that Webbs inside of that Dominus is a lot more able to make those plays on that nose of his car and on the top of his car than, say, a player in the Octane. So I understand the reason that they're going with him to try and make those plays just to get some setups and stuff. Maybe even a backboard touch as well. But right there, as you said, Sir Aaron, 2 goals in game number 3, ices it for the side of Butler. They take it easily 3-0 over the side of Villanova. Villanova gave it a great shot. They played fantastic the entire time, but just weren't able to close it out in those 2 overtime games.